on Saturday. Certainly proud of the effort of our players, a sense of urgency to lock your jaw and handle adversity. I thought we did that well. You know, we faced some early adversity in the game, a couple explosive plays that we gave up, and I thought our players just stayed very locked in. Our sideline was fantastic in terms of the just how locked in our players were. The communication between players and coaches is what a sideline should look like, and I thought we took steps in the right direction there. You know, we said we wanted to handle their perimeter game. That was something that they had done a really good job of. I think, you know, we talked them in and out of a lot of different things off the perimeter, just with pre-snap alignments. So for the most part, we did a pretty good job there. But one of the things that we had to say, what we talked about as a key to victory was when the ball declares, we've got to take the air out of the ball. And I thought on the interior run fits, for the most part, we did that. But the ball rolled off the edge and created, you know, 6 explosive plays for 171 yards. Outside of that, we had 26 rushes for 55 yards. So they averaged 2.1 yards per carry in those 26 plays. But those 6 rushes that the ball got outside on us and we didn't take the air out of the ball and gave really good athletes space to make a play, we didn't finish, and that is unacceptable, and we got to get those things fixed. In the SEC, you have to answer for the things that you put on tape, and we certainly are going to have to answer for those things. And then our last key to victory was we had to get the ball back for our offense, and certainly, you know, tremendous job with our offense and the way they're moving the ball and what Ty is doing right now with the ball and executing. And so we got to get the ball back for them. And so we were able to do that predominantly on third downs. We were able to create a fourth down stop, and we were also able to create a takeaway where we got the ball down in the red zone. So some really good things in that regard. This is a very, very tough league that you have to show up for every single week. We have a tremendous opponent in Vanderbilt. The things that you put on tape, you're going to have to go answer for as the season goes on. And there's been some good things we've put on tape, but there's been some things that we're going to have to go respond to, and things that we're going to have to show we do a better job. We let a fake reverse the other night affect us. That was something that we had worked extensively in practice and had 2 guys that didn't do the right thing. And so those are the things that we've got to show that we're more consistent in the way that we take our practice to execution on game day. So looking ahead to Vanderbilt, I think this is a fantastic football team. I think they're playing highly efficient right now on offense. I think they have a great identity in terms of how they play team football. Diego Pavia is an exceptional football player. I think he has gone from being a really good playmaker to an elite quarterback. And I think, you know, until you turn on the tape, you don't realize how much improvement you have seen from him from last year to this year, and it's really exceptional. I mean, the work that he's put in, the work their coaching staff has put in to make him an elite quarterback relevant to the SEC stage is impressive. You know, he's completing almost 75% of his passes. They've created 53 explosive plays on offense through 5 games, which is exceptional, and he's also their leading rusher. They've got some dynamic threats. Their receivers are going up and making plays on the ball. Their tight end is very dynamic, Eli Stowers, who's their leading receiver right now. And so just highly efficient on offense and the way they're operating. They've got a ton of confidence, and this will be a tremendous challenge for us defensively. So we're excited for the opportunity and ready for the week of work.
Thanks, Coach. Let's start with Charlie, far right.
Yeah, Coach, just what did you think of the way that Yanze Pierre and Justin Hill played at Wolf on Saturday, and how big is that depth going to be with both Quay and Jamarian Al?
Well, I think, you know, very proud of Yanze Pierre and Justin Hill. I mean, it's a lot to ask for a true freshman to come in and compete, especially in a road SEC game where, you know, he had been getting a lot of reps in practice, but certainly we didn't anticipate him playing, you know, whatever it was, 23, 24 snaps in the game. And he did a really good job there of going in, was very physical at the point of attack, made some huge block destruction plays on their tight ends, who I think Georgia has a very good receiving or tight end core. And so pleased with him, pleased with Janze Pierre. Janze is, I've talked about him in the offseason. He just keeps getting better and better. His ability to affect the run game, to generate some pass rush for us has shown up so far this season. But we're going to have to be creative in the way that we develop other people in certain packages to make sure that that we have enough depth, and that's really the name of the game, right? Is how do you each week handle your personnel to be able to create as much depth as you can for the next week's opponent, and certainly when you lose two experienced players like we did, that's a challenge.
Let's go to Chase on the left side.
Last year when Vanderbilt had running success in Nashville, you said a big reason was eye discipline, players on the front just not looking at the right things.
Yeah.
Given that, is that eye discipline a big emphasis in practice this week?
Well, it is, but it hasn't stopped being a point of emphasis all last season. I thought we improved last season as the year went on in terms of our eye discipline, particularly in the quarterback read game, right? So when you look at option style football, right, there's a sequence of reads that go on from the quarterback position that he's looking from this position to that position, and if your eyes and feet aren't in the right place, right now all of a sudden the rest of the play breaks down. And so that's something that I think we have improved in certain areas, but you look at the game last year, you look at some of the things that we had some issues with that. Really more, it was less eye discipline against Florida State. It was more gap continuity, guys jumping out of gap at the last second, thinking that the ball's going to commit outside, and all of a sudden we jump out and the ball goes inside. So it was probably more gap continuity against Florida State than it was eye discipline. But that will be a huge emphasis for us in terms of what we've got to do. If you go look back at last season, even given the explosive plays that we gave up some in the run game, we gave up 3 yards per carry overall, which obviously if you do that through the season, right, that's good rushing defense. But we cannot allow 4, 5, 6 explosive plays to dictate how the rushing game went, which is exactly what happened in Georgia the other night. If you look at those 6 explosive plays that we gave up.
Let's go to Nick, front right.
Yeah, two if I can. First off, Ty made sure to come find you right after the game. Kind of walk us through, what that moment was like, and also your relationship there, and then also this Vanderbilt offense. I mean, a lot of the same players, Cheryl, Stowers, Pavia, they gave you guys trouble a year ago,
Yeah.
are back again. How much does that familiarity help in defending that?
Yeah. I've known Ty, since he was, 6 years old. And so certainly, this is a team that I think is playing with an edge right now. I think Ty is a huge piece to us playing with an edge. I think defensively we're playing with more of an edge. And so when you go do the things and put the things on tape against Florida State and then have to go answer the bell like we have the last few weeks and then get a road win on the SEC, it was a good moment, special moment between him and I. And he's a fighter and a leader for our football team, and one that I just wanted to let him know that I recognize and appreciate all the work that he's put in to give us a chance to go respond and win on the road. And so that part was those are good. Those are special moments, and you appreciate those things. From when you look at this team, yeah, you've got a lot of similar players to what we saw a year ago. I think they have evolved. I think we have evolved significantly from where we were. Fundamentally, schematically, we're different from where we were at the beginning of last season, because I think good teams adjust to their personnel. And I think we have adjusted to our personnel and what we have defensively. They have done a great job of adjusting to their personnel and developing their personnel. They are a very different offense than what we saw from them a year ago, because of the things that Diego is doing in the passing game in particular. And so it's impressive how much he has improved as an overall quarterback.
Let's go to Alex, back middle.
Edric Hill got a little bit more, probably a little more run than expected with James going out. What did you see from his game, and how's he come along?
Edric played physical. He played hard in the game, which I think really I think has been a marker of all of our guys. We played timid and on our heels in week 1, and I think we have, to this point, we have identified that and kind of rectified that a little bit in terms of the effort that we're playing with. But particularly when you're an interior D lineman, it's natural when the ball's on the perimeter or thrown downfield not to naturally burst to the ball, and I think Edric's doing a really good job with that, along with a bunch of our interior defensive linemen. Some of that youthful interior D line is critical. I mean, gosh, it was an area of concern going into the season, right? That we had youthful players that were on the interior that were going to have to step up for us. But then all of a sudden, you lose Tim Keenan, and then Jeremiah Beeman goes down, which makes for a very difficult situation. And I think those guys have really done a good job of straining in the week of practice to prepare themselves to give an opportunity on game day. And I think Edric played well the other night.
Let's go to the front left column.
Hey, Kane, who would you say has improved the most as a pass rusher over the past few weeks, and kind of what, I guess, schematically or at the line of scrimmage specifically, I guess, gives reason to the improvement?
I think Yanze Pierre has consistently gotten better as a pass rusher, and that's one area that we need, where I'm excited about, some of the things that he gives us from a pass rush standpoint. I think LT Overton, from where he was a year ago in generating, quarterback hurries to being able to finish in the backfield, not only on the quarterback, but he's also finished in the backfield on a number of run plays as well. And so those are areas that I think that we are improving as a defense. I've got to continue to find creative ways to generate pass rush. I thought we were able to do that at a much higher level the last few weeks, and certainly last week against Georgia, we were able to affect the quarterback and thus get off the field on third down. And so, those are going to be critical things for us moving forward.
Let's go to Katie in the second row.
The other guy that I'll tell you is Deontay Lawson is doing a really good job as a pass rusher. We're doing some things with him that we did with Jahad Campbell a year ago, and he's generating some pass rush. So give D-Law a little love there.
Go ahead, Katie.
Similar to Nick's question, with some of the personnel being the same for y'all on defense and them on offense, is there kind of a pride factor or revenge factor with the defense after what happened last year that, or is that something you don't want them to focus on?
Well, I think if you have pride in the way you play defensively, this is a very, very good SEC opponent. And certainly I think you're always going to be aware of what a team did last year against you and how that matches up. They're a new offense. They're a new football team, and we're a new defense. We're a different defense. There's going to be certain carryover. I would imagine, we took a punch on the road in week 1, and I think that we've got an edge to our football team right now in the way that we're preparing and the way we're playing. My job as the coordinator is to keep us on that edge as a defense, and I think that's the way that we're going to play on Saturday.
All right, let's finish up with Travion, far back.
Alabama played 44 players on offense and defense, 44 freshman players. Can you just talk about the trust that you're able to have in those players as they step up in those moments and fill in, through, whether it be injury or just fill in general?
Yeah, you just mean, we're playing a number of players from a defensive standpoint. Some of that, right, are situations where, barring injury, a guy has to step up in his role, and that's something that, credit to our coaching staff for getting some younger players ready to go play in those moments. I think we do have a number of players. There's not a guy on our defense that's playing perfect right now. Everybody is making mistakes. Everybody has things that they need to fix and improve upon. But I told our guys, good teams improve, and that can be for older players like Tim Keenan and Deontay Lawson. That can be for younger players like Justin Hill that just had more snaps than he probably anticipated playing in Athens. But good teams improve, and if we will have a sense of urgency to improve, and you show those things in the week of practice, you get to participate on game day. And I think that we've got a number of younger players that are doing that. Some guys on our two deep that belong on the field and have earned reps for game day. But to me, this will all come down to, as we navigate through SEC play, who improves the things that you put on tape from week 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatever this practices right now, 5 for us, but 6 overall, versus the teams that don't improve and fix the things that they need to. And so I think we're taking steps in the right direction right now, but that will be the key to success. All right, thanks, guys. Roll Tide.